My name is Maria Esther Fernandez. I'm the Artistic Director of the Cheech Marin Center for Chicano Art and Culture in Riverside, California. In 2017, the Riverside Art Museum hosted Papel Chicano Dos, which is one of the many exhibitions of Cheech's collection. And there was a huge turnout, as is always the case. And the city manager at the time was there and approached the Riverside Art Museum to make an offer to Cheech to have his collection come to Riverside. And after 5 years, we have a center. When you think about constructing, and building a museum, it takes many, many, many years. So that's light speed. We'll have 2 inaugural exhibitions. The first is Colidoscope, a retrospective by the De La Torre brothers, Einar and Jamex. This is in collaboration with the Smithsonian National Museum of the American Latino and guest curated by Selene Preciado. It features about 70 works of over the 30-year artistic trajectory. The second is Cheech Collects, which is the first iteration of the inaugural permanent collection exhibition. We have about 44 artists featured and just under 100 works, weaving a narrative of Cheech as a collector, as well as beginning to explore the art historical importance of the collection and the individual works as well. We'll have a second iteration that'll open late December. The Riverside community is over 50% Latinx. We've had families who have been donating every year for the last 5 years to be on the donor wall. I think they've rallied behind the project because folks still want to see themselves reflected in their institutions. Cheech Marin's collection is extremely important. It has toured to over 50 institutions across the country and brought unprecedented attention to Chicanx art. While not encyclopedic, the collection has wonderful works that reflect themes and narratives coming from the Chicano movement, as well as contemporary and younger and more emerging artists as well. So Cheech Collects begins with this gallery where we are really trying to create a sense of place for the viewer, really for them to look at these works and feel like they're transported home. These works, specifically by Jacinto Guevara, actually take me back to thinking about where I grew up. And these will flow into works that are more narrative, such as Sunset Crash by Carlos Almaraz. I think what will be exciting for folks when they come through is to see works that they haven't seen. There have been works that were in his home or in storage, have traveled in other shows, but not as extensively. And so what folks will see is a better reflection of what the collection actually encompasses. We have here Frank Romero, Arrest of the Paleteros, that speaks to a very particular time where paleteros were being arrested if they didn't have permits. We have Kill the Pachuco Bastard, which speaks to a very important historical event with the Zoot Suit riots. Here we have Judith Hernandez, Juárez Quinceañera and Santa Desconocida, that speak to the femicides in the US-Mexico border in Juárez. Judith is one of the members of Los Four. She was the only female member of Los Four, a very important artist. And we will actually have a major retrospective of her work in 2 years. I mean, we are in a critical time for museums right now in terms of calls for equity, calls for not just representation, but really equity and folks feeling like they have ownership in these cultural institutions. Our hope is to not only feature work by Chicanx and Latinx artists, but also challenge museum practice and really find ways that we can work more equitably in community and have their voices heard. And I think we have a lot of preconceptions of what it is based off historically from the Chicano movement. It has evolved. It's always been in conversation with global artistic movements, as folks can see as they're touring through here. So if someone walks out thinking, wow, I didn't think that's what Chicanx art is, I think that'll be a win.